Hello warriors, I hope you're all doing great. Rahul Bia is here to discuss with each and every one of my CA Inter students who are appearing for your September 2026 examinations. The most awaited video is here. Your expected questions, focus topics, exam strategy, whatever you call it, it's finally here. In this video, we're going to give a quick understanding on what the expected topics are from my perspective. What and all should you be paying extreme amount of attention for your upcoming September examinations so that you're able to ace these examinations and clear CA Inter as quickly as possible. Yes. Now, for those people who are watching this video for the first time, for those people who are attending September exam for the very first time, let me give you the pattern of this. First, you need to understand how does an ICAI prepare your exam paper for direct taxes, and that's what this analysis video will talk about. First things people, when it comes to paper number 3, which is your direct tax and indirect tax, you will get two separate booklets in examination. Section A talking about direct tax and section B talking about indirect tax. Each paper being about 50 marks, and each paper further split into something called MCQs and descriptive format. As you all know, MCQs are going to be about 30% of your syllabus, and therefore direct tax will have about 15 marks worth of MCQs coming in and 35 marks worth of descriptive for you to answer yourself. Yes, now the pattern for you is already given in the PDF which I have. I will be sharing across this PDF with each and every one of you so that you can review it from your side as well. But yes, this video will give you a brief understanding on how to interpret this PDF so that you have a better grip on it. First things people, this PDF is now talking about what are the analysis I have done based on whatever ICAI has asked you in the last 4 attempts, including the latest May 2026 attempt. From May 25 to May 26, what are the topics that ICAI has paid attention to in each question of? You will see it here on the screen. As you will see that whenever an MCQ starts from ICAI perspective, the 15 marks of MCQ are split into about 8 questions. Each question carrying about 2 marks and the last question alone carrying about 1 mark in examination. Now, the split of ICAI is that ICAI will ask you 2 case study questions in direct tax and 2 case studies in indirect tax as well. Each case study having about 3 to 4 questions in exam. So yes, if you notice, you'll have case study number 1 with 3 questions, case study number 2 with 3 questions, and then you had a standalone question which ICAI tested you in your examination, totaling up to 15 marks. Now, this pattern remains the same, but what is more critical for you to realize right now is that in the MCQ format, you will notice ICAI has not defined a template itself. Across all the 4 attempts, you will see that the case study topics are changing significantly. There is no standard pattern, there is no standard topic which ICAI has paid attention to, which means for MCQs at least, and complete coverage of your syllabus has become a must. You cannot let go of any topic in examination because that will start biting you for MCQ perspective for the least of it. That is something that you have to pay attention to. Please be mindful of that. But hey, ignoring MCQs, what we'll see is that descriptive part has already been standardized. ICAI has already made it very clear to each and every one of you that descriptives will have a certain template that you have to follow, and that is the only way that I'm going to ask you questions in examination. For example, you will notice that across all the 4 attempts, the first question of descriptive is always a comprehensive question where ICAI will give you a set of adjustments and ask you to compute total income and tax liability under both the regimes. So which means a standard both regime question is going to expect in question number 1, and you will have to play along with it. Then comes your question number 2, which is going to be split into 2 topics. First topic being residential status and scope of total income, and second topic being your TDS related adjustments. Third comes your question where 2 subdivisions will have a split between head of incomes. Certain head of incomes will be picked up, and then you will see a question number 3 arising out of it. Now, there is no clarity on which head of income will specifically come in exam. It can be any of the 5 heads of income which ICAI can test in both the subdivisions. Then comes question number 4, one of my personal favorite questions, where the part number A will be clubbing and set off for 6 marks, and then part number B will be a theoretical question for 4 marks, an easy cakewalk question for you in examination, and a mandatory question according to me for attending for yourself. Yes, that is the paper pattern. You will see that same pattern appearing in all the 4 attempts. Nothing has changed in the paper pattern. So that is one clarity that you're going to have for yourself. Yes, now step number 2. Rahul Bia is not going to tell you in this topics what and all is more important to read before you knowing how to approach the exam. So yes, exam strategy is your topic number 2. Rahul Bia has a very simple philosophy on how to write your examination. The philosophy is that a student should never approach MCQs and compulsory question in the first place. The first question should never be your compulsory question or your MCQs for a simple reason: they both take time. Yes, and therefore when the 3 hours clock starts for you, a very simple request which I make is to have a proper order of pattern which will help you get the highest marks in the lowest amount of time. And therefore, Rahul Bia's standard recommendation is for every single student to attend question number 4. A clubbing and set off along with the theoretical question can fetch you 10 marks in examination in the least amount of time that you have to pay. Yes, you all know clubbing and set off together would be about 5 sides that you would have read for examination, and theoretical topics only have 4 to 5 questions which you have to pay attention to. We've already posted a video some time back clarifying for May 26 students what are the theoretical questions they can expect in exam, and that's the same topic which applies for September as well. September students can also use the same theoretical topic video, and you can complete the whole 4-mark question examination in just a matter of 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you will know what are the theoretical questions, and that will be coming up for examination. Yes, so which means Rahul Bhaiya's order of priority is to always focus on question number 4 first as you start the paper. Then specifically on direct tax, you will now have an option to choose between question number 2 and 3. And if you come and ask me my personal recommendation for September attempt, I would say pay more attention to question number 2. Yes, question number 2 talks about TDS and a topic which you will skip. But honestly, my gut feeling for this attempt is that ICA may pay too much attention to TDS this time. And therefore, TDS is not a topic that I would like you to skip in the current attempt. So yes, question number 2 is something which I would like you to pay attention to. If you're able to push a little bit and complete TDS reading for your examination, then residential status and scope of total income is definitely the topic which you already know about. Yes, which means another 10 marks can be easily scored in examination just by covering TDS additionally from your side. Now, I will also be candid about the fact that there are students who are planning to skip off 2. If that is the case, then 3 is the only option which you have. Now, 3, as you all know, is going to be heads of income, which means ICA will expect you to remember all the 5 heads of income in order to be able to answer the question number 3. If you ask me my recommendation, what's going to happen, people, is that question number 3 is going to be a question which you probably are going to know about, but it's going to take too much time from you because it's a head of income question and takes a lot of efforts to remember. As compared to question number 2, which can be easily completed off and solved in an examination, the risk is only about knowing the answers. Yes, so this is a trade-off that you'll have to play with yourself. If you're able to manage question number 2, definitely go for that. If not, focus on question number 3. That is the intention which I would clarify to you. Once you have done this, people, you might probably have moved on to IDT and completed a good part of IDT as well. At which stage, my request is very simple. When the clock hits 4, and you have just 1 hour pending, stop everything. Please stop everything. Stop writing your descriptive answers. Immediately move on to your MCQs. Make sure that you are able to complete your MCQs, because 30 marks of MCQs in the pressure of a 4 o'clock will complete faster. At 4 o'clock, when you take off your MCQs, in the next 30 minutes, if you're able to complete your MCQs off, then you'll have a boost of confidence that yes, I finished off my 30 marks also in examination. What is left is an additional 30 minutes for you to get your bonus points. At this stage, will you start your question number 1? Question number 1 will start compulsory question at the 4:30 clock when you start hitting your 4:30, and you'll try to cover as much as possible. Now, for those students who have come to my class, for those students who've seen the marathon, I would have already clarified this to you that the compulsory question is something, as per me, a bonus mark, nothing else. Yes, I know it's a compulsory question, but you and I both know that the amount of difficulty which ICA is placing before you right now, plus the amount of time that this question says, does not justify the mark weightage. Even though it says it's a 15-mark question, a student minimum ends up spending 45 to 1 hour in this one question alone, and that loses you so much marks in another place. So yes, direct tax question number 1, compulsory question, is always your last priority. Even if you don't complete the question, it is completely fine, because every adjustment that you wrote and every mark you got from that is, according to me, a bonus mark for you. Yes, so that is what my understanding is going to be. I'm always going to come and clarify to you that the question number 1 is a brownie points which you should pay attention to. Yes, so order of priority has been very clearly made. It's question 4, choice between 2 and 3, move on to MCQs, then come back to question number 1 to complete the paper off. Yes, that is one request which Rahul Bhaiya is going to make to you. Now, if you have completed this, let me now clarify what are the strategical topics for you. From my analysis of the papers of the last 4 attempts, Rahul Bhaiya has prepared a document which will come and clarify to you what are the topics I feel is important for this examination based on the trends which ICA is asking. Now, I'm not going to explain this to you because this is more like self-explanatory. You can understand it from your side when the PDF is shared across with you. But just on a high level, you will understand how the topic split has been made. We split them into 2 categories, people. One is category A and category B. Category A being those topics where if you pay more attention, you will get more marks. Category B being those topics which you don't have to pay too much attention to. They're all ancillary questions which if you do properly, you can automatically switch over and make marks in category number A, which means category number B is more going to complement category number A rather than being a standalone important question as to start with. Yes, so definitely yes, category B is also important for exam, but not the extreme amount of weightage as much as category A will carry. Now, for those who are watching me for the second time, you will know in May 26, I did have category number C as well, where I specifically put TDS. But like I just clarified to you right now, TDS according to me has been split off and become very important for September exams. So Rahul has decided to put them into category A this time. Yes, so you will now find TDS and TCS as part of category number A, and I would like you all to pay attention to this topic because my gut feeling says TDS is going to be heavily tested in September examinations. Clear? Very good. Now, how do you read this topic, people? Is that you take up the highlights and you will see the chapter names. Chapter name, let's say, for example, tax rates, will come and clarify to you that I want you to focus on the topics of DTR regime, also with the rebate rules which are there in DTR regime. And then the purples will come and tell you why am I feeling this is important. I would say that this is important because it may be clarified at question number 1. Compulsory question may ask a question relating to DTRs and rebates. That is why it is important. You will see the same logic working on everything. See, like for example, I've told STI this time. I'm telling that out of the last 4 attempts, every attempt ICI has asked you residential status question, which means the chances of this time having a scope of total income question is a little more likely to happen. And therefore, I would like more attention on scope of total income this time so that you can get more easily 6 marks in your examination. Yes, that moves on to salaries. I've told you what topics I feel from salaries is important. PGBP, the list of topics I feel is critical enough for you. CG, IFOS, so on and so forth. Yes, Rahul Bhaiya is trying to make it as simple as possible so that you don't have to read the whole topic weightage on the last day of your examinations. On the last day of examinations, these are the topics I would say is a must to cover and go for your examinations. Every other topic, read it once, don't pay too much attention to it. It's important to be completed for the first time reading, but on a consistent practice reading, you should definitely cover these topics for your examination. Yes, now this topic is not an ABC analysis, people. Let me clarify this to you because I would have consciously skipped off a certain topics. You will see as you progress into this file, you will not see 10AA, SEZ provisions, AMT, agricultural income is something which I have not kept in attention for this attempts because I feel this have already been tested in the past, may not be as critical as possible for this attempts of. Yes, so that is how this topic design has been prepared. It is not an ABC analysis telling you to cover everything off, but rather the focus areas which I feel if you pay more attention to, the chances of you scoring the highest mark in examination will be more likely to you. Yes, this PDF will be available in the description box. Please to download it. Please to make sure that as you complete those topics, you put a tick mark here so that you can clarify to yourself, yes, these are the topics which I've already covered from my side and I feel a little more confident for my examination. If there are any such topics in this which you feel a little difficult, please make sure to highlight it for yourself and make sure that on the last day of your examination, before you enter your exam hall, you refer to these topics once again and go so that the moment you enter the exam hall and you see this adjustment, you can easily answer it from your perspective. Yes, so that is what this intention is, people. Please make sure to use the topics as equally as possible and get the best advantage out of this PDF for yourself. Yes, great. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you all have an amazing learning for September exams. Your preparations are going extremely well for the next 2 months. You make sure you put your step foot forward and you take a decision very quickly to make sure that you clear your September examinations. Your registrations have already closed. I'm sure you've already applied for your examinations, which means there is no stepping back. At this stage, the only intention is to go forward, look at the exam in the face of it and tell them that this is the final time I am looking at you for CA Inter. I will only come back to this place at CA final level. Yes, that is the intention which I want you to have, people. Please motivate yourself to that extent and make sure that you have all the passion in the world to make sure that this becomes your last attempt for your examination. If there is anything else which Rahul Bhaiya can do for you, please feel free to drop a WhatsApp message on my number and I will be very happy to support you as much as possible. If it is within my bandwidth, I will definitely try to make sure that it happens for you. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead. Happy learning, and see you all very soon after the exam gets over with a review video on the paper to tell you how your performance has been. Until such time, take care. Bye bye.